Hey yo, what is up YouTube, Ginno here. Today I'm going to be talking about my favourite albums so far of 2018. This is just K-pop albums though, so I'm not going to be mentioning anything else. If you want to see me talk about other albums I really enjoy, link in the description to my second channel or just my other channel, Ginnoville. I'm going to be doing a top 5, but I'm also going to be mentioning some honourable mentions, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm not going to go into super detail and like properly review the albums. Most of these albums I've done a review for already, so go and watch those, I guess. So at number 5, it's J-Hope's Hope World. This was such a surprisingly enjoyable record. I had a lot of hope for this record, no pun intended. I was incredibly apprehensive though. Beforehand I was thinking, I'm not sure whether J-Hope can pull this off, but he pulled it off with aplomb. It was absolutely phenomenal, lovely blend of pop tracks and hip hop tracks, and J-Hope can pull off any hook, I swear to good God, because he is such a good set of vocals, but also he can flow so easily over pretty much any style of beat. The structuring of the whole mixtape was actually really impressive. I like the way he lined up those first 2 tracks, really poppy, then he went Daydream, Bassline, Hwansang, which were all very hip-hop focused, and then he smoothed out to the outro with Airplane, and then the outro Blue Side, which was just gorgeous. I love how well this is put together, so impressed, and it's a great first solo release from J-Hope, and I'm looking forward to more. And number 4, I decided to put Pentagon's Positive. This was just an EP, but it was an incredibly impressive EP. Really good track. Shine was the perfect example of a title track, and I'm really hoping this is where Pentagon really start to improve and gain some credibility. They've always sort of been on the cusp of being fairly popular amongst their own fans, but never hitting it into the more mainstream K-pop audience. And I think this album really is showing a sign that they can, because Shine is a fairly mainstream sounding track. It didn't do numbers though, and I'm so surprised because it's such a good track critically as well as just like appeal wise. But the whole EP is phenomenal. If you like hip-hop/pop tracks, then go and listen to this, because it's a good example of what you can get with K-pop. Then at number 3, we've got Vixx's Ode to Vixx. This was probably the album I reviewed most positively, but unfortunately, since I first reviewed it, I haven't really listened to it all that much. The replay value has diminished a little, but it is such a solid album. Superb vocals. Scientist is a good title track, but really, the consistency throughout the album is incredibly good. Sometimes the songs can blend into one another, but you can pay attention to this album, and you can find so many minute details and really intelligent bits of instrumental work and also vocal layering that you won't get with other albums. Vixx have a great vocal lineup, but they also have one of the best rappers in the game right now. Ravi is fantastic. I'll talk about him a little bit later in this video. He is actually superb, and he gives a very nice balance to the album with so many other vocalists in Vixx. Ravi can stand out quite a bit. But yeah, this is probably my favourite Vixx album overall, next to their EP for Kratos. That was also very good. Then at number 2, I decided to go for BTS's Love Yourself Tear. This is a phenomenal album. It's probably actually my favourite BTS album now, just ahead of Wings. It is a lovely balance between some of their newer, modern, more sort of genre bendy type of sound than some of their older, more pop heavy rap tracks. The Truth Untold is a phenomenal vocal and ballad track. The piano instrumental blended with those vocals and that up kick at the end, it's such a solidly produced and well put together song, and I hope they do more songs like that in the future. Singularity, again, that neo soul sound, so fresh, so creative, really liked it. Of course, they've got some songs on there that I don't like so much. So What and Magic Shop I don't really enjoy all that much, but they sort of balance it out in a way that these songs that you can listen to them, because they around surrounding them they have more sort of fun tracks like Anpan Man and Aeroplane 2. These are such enjoyable listens, so that they sort of balance out the eardrum bashingness of So What and Magic Shop. Overall, it's a really solid album from BTS, and I'm really pleased that they've dropped something like this after Love Yourself Tear, Her even, that I wasn't such a huge fan of, but this was such an impressive release, and I'm really glad they dropped it. And finally, at number 1, it's iKON's Return. I was so impressed with this album. It's the first iKON album I've really liked, and critically I think it's the best album of the year so far, and Love Scenario Scenario is probably my favourite track of the year so far. So well produced, so fun. There's a lovely balance between these hip hop and pop tracks, but there's a really, really definite positive feeling to this album. Some of the lyrics are quite sad, especially if I love Scenario, but overall the whole album has such a positive, happy feel to it. The production throughout is consistent, it's definitely kicky, it's interesting. B.I.'s solo is definitely a highlight, and yeah, it is just a really, really impressive album, and I enjoyed it a lot. Sorry I didn't review it when it just came out. I don't know what came over me, I just never reviewed it. So yeah, those are my favourite 5 albums of the year so far. This could change by the end of the year. These albums could move all over the place because it often depends on how easy the listening is in the future, whether there's much replay value. You know, Return and Love Yourself Tear both have a lot of replay value, but I found with some others that I just don't listen to them really anymore. So that's Ode to Vixx. I really should try to listen to it more, but it's quite a heavy listen. So here are some honourable mentions. Taeyeon Something New, which was a fairly new EP. I like that a lot. Her vocals on it are good, really creative. Then EXO CBX's Blooming Days probably would be about 6 or 7 or 8 on this list if I did it out of 10. That's a very, very nice album, lots of fun. Shiny, The Story of Light. Part 3 is my favourite, it's the closest to my heart. I actually have part 1, not sure if you can see it, somewhere over there. You know, part 3 is so close to my heart. I really, really enjoyed that. And that's probably my favourite one. Ravi's Mixtape, the second one anyway. I wasn't a huge fan of the third one, but the second one is phenomenal. Like I said, Ravi is one of my favourite rappers at the moment. He can perfectly blend that pop rap sound with the more hard-hitting gangster rap sounding sounds. That doesn't make any sense, does it? He takes a lot of ideas from America, and he certainly takes this sort of Ice Cube-y gangster rap sound and completely reimagines it with this modern twist, and I like that a lot. Stray Kids I Am Not is a lot of fun, better than their mixtape release. This is a group that I have a lot of confidence in the future. I think they could be really, really good, and I'm hoping people stay tuned to them because they're already quite popular, but I think they could be something brilliant. Just like Stray Kids, I really like Luna. They had a debut this year as well. I especially like their, I think it's XXYX, or is it maybe the other way around, YYXY? Someone's taking a shower, that's what it is. You guys can probably hear that. Beauty and the Beat, it's an EP they released, phenomenal. They had a song with Grimes, Love Forever or something like that. Really, really fun album, creative, interesting, so good. Please check that out. And then we also have Day 6's Shoot Me Youth Part 1. So impressed with this. I love the rock and pop blends, all the vocals, because I mean everyone in Day 6 can sing. It's so well put together with some fresh ideas, creative, but also a nice balance of cheesy tracks in there as well, which I enjoyed. And finally, I think a special mention has to go to Jonghyun's Poet Artist. This is a good album. I've found it incredibly hard to listen to personally. It's just one of those albums. I have to be in a certain mind state for it, and that is what it is. But it is a very good album. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. This can be Ginno, signing out. See you guys soon.